I love a good combat knife. Combat knives can be big, small, and compact, all for different occasions. Today we're going to be looking at one somewhere right in the middle, and that's the short fighting knife from KaBar. We're going to be looking at the 1256. Stick around. I want to share with you something that I put on a community post recently, and that is somewhat of an update to my channel. My channel is evolving, and my greatest passion is subject matter. Subject matter regarding the gear that I love, subject matter in the area of self-defense, awareness, and training. One of the things that I'm moving away from is this constant review of this myriad of knives and products, because I never wanted to be a product pusher, and I don't want to be that now, but I still like to review gear that I'm passionate about, gear that I have in my possession, and gear that I believe is good for subject matter. And the scope of range of knives that I'm wanting to talk about is becoming more and more narrow. But one of those brands that I consider to be a staple that I'm personally interested in is most definitely KaBar Knives. And my videos are largely centered around presenting these things in a topical type of format, because many of the blades that we love the most, the ones that are most popular, the ones that are staples, they've been tested, they've been reviewed. But as I've said before, it's those good combat knife models that draw me in. Those are the ones I like to collect. Let's take a look at this KaBar, which is significantly smaller than the traditional size KaBar knife. And here is the 1256. This is a short fighting knife. Now, I bought this knife. I've had this in my collection. Tomar's Kabars is usually my sponsor, and I'm still giving them a shout out on this video. You should check out their website. They've got great prices and great service. I do want to show you a side-by-side. This is a regular sized KaBar knife. Here's their short fighting knife. As you can see, the handle is significantly smaller. The width of the blade is significantly slimmer. But I will tell you, as far as everyday carry, this is much more realistic and comfortable. Now, you carry as big a blade as you want to, but I want you to see the difference in size between all of these. The reason I showed you that is because when I bought this knife, I envisioned it being a little bit bigger, a little bit wider. But the more I handled it, the more I held that knife, the more I began to understand its size and design. And here you go. That handle is very slim. Your hand's going to engulf that, but it's got a nice grip to it. Nice compact size. This thing is razor sharp and fast as lightning. But you are still working with a 5.5-inch blade. So this is definitely ready for battle. Now, there is an all-black version of this one, and it's the 1211. It's the same size, but I want to show you something. If you notice there, the blade here is slightly off-center from the handle design. Somebody pointed that out to me. That's just how the Tang is designed. This one actually does not have that. This one's very central in its positioning over top of the handle. And as you saw, my sheath is leather, which I like that better. I know so many of you, a myriad of you, love the plastic sheaths, the Securex type sheaths, the Kydex and all of that. I'm not against that material. I like leather and nylon better. I'm just one of those strange people. 1095 Crovan steel, just like all the rest of them. And I know I've said this before, I'll say it again, but that is my favorite blade shape, without a shadow of a doubt. Now, what you have here is the total package. You've got length, you've got speed. It's obviously not going to hit as hard as a standard size KaBar, but it's definitely got the reach. It's a slicing machine. And with this blade not being very wide, it's definitely going to excel in piercing in various locations without limitation. It's going to be able to slip through things very well. As you can see, this thing don't look bad at all hanging off the side here. The KaBar 1211 short fighting knife is definitely for those of you who want to carry a knife for self-defense, but you don't feel like the shorter ones would serve you. I've known a lot of people that said, man, I just don't like to carry small EDC fixed blades. If I'm gonna carry a knife for self-defense, I need to carry a knife. But the thing is, it's hard to carry some of these bigger blades. It's just not reality in our day-to-day flow, but something like this could be. There's a video circulating on the internet. A couple of guys are trying to attack this guy. It looks like they're trying to carjack him. What does he do? He pulls his blade, he holds them at bay, they leave, he gets in the car, he goes home safe. When you hold this thing in your hand, you just feel how fast this thing is, man. It rolls. It's like greased lightning. Now, I will show you this. The palm circumference of my hand when shopping for gloves is a large. If you've got an XL or a double XL, this might be too small for you because that's the circumference of a large glove size. So if you've got an XL or larger, you can see exactly what you're working with. Speaking of gloves, I hate buying gloves because I need a large when it comes to the palm circumference, but I have kind of short fingers. So it's like I would need a medium glove for that, but you can't find that. Nevertheless, when you're holding a knife, your hand is closed, so it's not so much about finger length, and trust me, you can have the shortest fingers in the world and you'll be fine with this handle, but if you've got a really giant paw, you might think this is too small. Now, I would not sweat the tang on this knife. It's got a thinner tang running through the handle, but this is not a bushcraft knife. This is a fighting knife. That's exactly what it's called, and that handle is designed for ergonomics. If you want to pierce and slice with it, you can. You can do those things well, but hardcore bushcraft task is not what this knife is for. Sliced him low, sliced him a little high. I want to show you this with regards to slicing. When you're doing your slices with a knife, you want to stay within radius, slightly outside the body. You're not here and here. You're not overextending. You're staying within that radius. As you can see, I'm slightly outside of the radius of the body, but I'm still giving myself room to work without slowing myself down. So instead of being here, I'm here. Just a little tighter radius there instead of extending too far. All right, ladies and gentlemen, what do you think about the KaBar short fighting knife? I think it's a rad blade. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Take care.